Star Trek The Next Generation, day 12 of 30 in my 30 days of Star Trek reviews. We're doing season 1 on Blu-ray, episode Hide and Q. It's a Q one, so you know it's going to be a good time. So these guys are all bustling about trying to get ready to go on a rescue mission. A couple things stood out to me. Look at these walls. Where's this at? That's different looking. Also, I wonder why these two were hired to be on the show. Check out this awesome 80s hair. Right? So not her, but her right here. And it's really jiggly. Check it out. Look at it. Look at it. She wiggles her head. Look at all that. That's some great 80s hair. Like my mom. Gotta love a good Q episode. Look at his Admiral uniform. And stuff's just like sewn on there. You can see the seam just like hanging out right there.
Ah, the redoubtable Commander Riker, whom I noticed before. You seem to find this all very amusing.
I might. If we weren't on our way to help them suffering and dying humans who...
Your species is always suffering and dying.
That's such a perfect Q line. Alright, look at John Delancey right here. That's Q. And just watch his face as he says these couple lines. This is exactly why Q episodes are so enjoyable to watch. Look at this.
We don't have time for these games.
Look at him.
Did someone say game? And perchance for interest's sake, a deadly game?
So, I love Q. It might be from playing action figure Q. We have 4 of these at my... So, I think the 4... Anyway, 4 of us got these for Christmas, I think. Or maybe my mom got one for herself because she loves Q so much. So I don't know if I love Q so much because she loved Q so much, but she was always just so happy when Q would come on. And I remember one time 10 years ago, I was in an Army airborne barracks waiting for airborne school to start, but it was the government shutdown. And so every day I would go to school to get ready to go, but the government shutdown was still happening, so I couldn't go to airborne school. So I went to the library and checked out a Star Trek Q episode only box set and went through it and watched a whole bunch of Q episodes. And man, those are some day brighteners right there. And I love to watch how Q interacts with the different captains of the different series. Like Picard basically manhandles him like verbally and intellectually. And then Cisco, he has his own way of responding to him, and Janeway. So I really, yeah, Q's incredible. I haven't seen Star Trek Picard Season 2 with Q in it, mostly because I feel like maybe that shouldn't count as real Star Trek. Anyway, let me know if you think he's good in that. So Picard and Q have a little wager where Picard has to give up his command if this thing happens, and Q has to stay out of humanity forever. And because he's basically tempting Riker with the power of the Q. And so this whole episode is about temptation and abusing power. And see what Q says.
Done. You've already lost, Picard. Riker will be offered something impossible to refuse.
So Q, what he knows about humanity right now, thinks that they'll just give in to temptation. So this is a really good not be tempted episode. So here's Riker and Data. Ding! That's not Data, that's Q. Anyway, so that was super creepy when he turned around. He actually looks like a really good Data. But this is where they're playing a little game where they have a bunch of little pig-looking people inside of French uniforms, and they're battling them to see how they react. But this is where he first tells Riker that he has the power of the Q. But first, some action.
You have only one chance to save them now. Send them back to the ship. You'll let me beam them? Send them the same way I do.
What?
I've given you the power. Do you understand? I have given you the power of the Q.
So Riker is officially empowered. He's going to try it out. Use the Q power. Alright, so here's the weird animal things in the French uniforms. But There is a really awesome crane shot right here, and I love me a good crane shot. Check this out. It can only go so high because they're in a warehouse. Look at this. You know, it's a crane shot because it goes about double the height of a normal person. So here we have Worf going full red shirt. Okay, so I showed this episode to my son. I think he was 6 or maybe 7. And the Q episodes, the kids they're excited about it, but at the same time they're nervous. So this part didn't help. I don't think he minded Worf getting stabbed to death, but it's this next part that really, really affected him. Okay, so here goes Wesley, super brave and stupid, concerned for Worf. Runs out there.
Look out! Wesley, no! Wesley!
So I'm not going to show the other part, but basically the camera goes down and shows a very scary bayonet wound coming out, and then it's just a couple seconds later that Riker undoes it. So because Riker has the power of the Q, so he undoes it. They go back to the Enterprise. Wesley's fine. I mean, we're talking a couple seconds, but my 6 or 7-year-old was wrecked by this. He just looked over at me and he's like, "Why did you show this to me?" And I'm like, "I'm so sorry. It's fake. He's better now. Look, he's better now." And it didn't matter. It didn't matter that he was better now. I mean, the bayonet coming out is pretty bloody, but it just wrecked him. I don't know if it's because it's like a young boy or what, but he was really upset by that. And so when I'm going to show them episodes, I have to think like, okay, does anyone get stabbed? Is there anything like, it's so hard to predict like what will upset them. Because to me, I'm like, this is a game. They're going to undo it. Like 2 seconds later, it should be fine. But no, this scene, this is bad. I got in trouble for this. So Riker has used the power of the Q to get them out of the situation. And look at this smug Riker face. Look at this.
Grid their wounds. Only the Q can do that.
Smug Riker boy. Look at his face. He's like, "I'm so powerful." So here's an interesting note on the decoration of Picard's ready room.
Any human's experience.
So again,
Well,
on the side here, we have the Enterprise
how
model.
do I advise you?
Right there, see it? You got the
You
old
know the
Enterprise model.
implications as well as I.
That's either the Enterprise A or the Enterprise refit. They look very similar. Yeah, because the nacelles are kind of that like rectangular. It doesn't have the ball at the end. So he used every single episode up until the Stargazer one and this one. He had the Stargazer model, I'm pretty sure right there. And so the Stargazer episode happened, and at the very end of that episode, he's leaving the Stargazer and he says, "Beam me home." And he's like, leave the past in the past. And so from now on, is he going to have the Enterprise as a little model and just put the Stargazer behind him? Which is probably good because it had some terrible things that happened there. But yeah, that's just something I'm going to be watching for that. I don't specifically remember that. It's just this time through I noticed that they changed the model on the Stargazer episode. And here it is, still changed. So we're going to see the Stargazer model come back. I don't know. That's like a minute and a half talking about this decoration in the background. But you'll notice, let's go longer. You'll notice that it's spray painted silver, which in the fine tradition of Parade of Homes, you will find pieces of driftwood spray painted silver and put on a table as a centerpiece. And it is so dumb looking. So anyway, that's what they got it from right there. I'm sure of it. So Riker has very pompously called the bridge staff together, and you can see they don't look happy to talk to them about his new powers, and they are not happy with it. And then Riker says the word uncomfortable in the weirdest way I've ever heard anyone say it.
Everyone still looks uncomfortable.
It's like 15 syllables.
Perhaps they're all remembering that old saying, power corrupts.
And absolute power corrupts, absolutely. Do you believe I haven't thought of that, Jean-Luc?
I noticed a fly on set.
You're
Seems like
mine.
right here.
Don't you understand
There it is.
his incredible gift to me?
So yeah, Riker wants to give gifts to everybody.
No harm, would there? If I gave them something I know they'd like. Oh, how touching. A plea to his former captain.
Anyway, so Picard encourages it. He says, go for it. And I love that he encourages that because Picard has faith that pretty much no one on that bridge crew will accept it because he knows what kind of people they are. So one by one, Riker goes through and he gives them, like he makes Wesley 10 years older. He gives Worf like a super violently sexual Klingon lady. He gives, anyway, he's just giving these things to people. And all of them, like you can tell they're tempted for a minute, but ultimately they're just like, no. And that's awesome. And it's cool that he has that faith in his people. So we just super creepily turned Wes into 10 years older. And I love what Data says. It's very good when he gets offered.
Data? No. No, sir. But it's what you've always wanted, Data. To become human.
I really
Yes,
wanted
sir.
to see Brent Spiner
That
with
is
no
true.
makeup. I'm not going to lie, I really did. Listen to this.
Was it not one of the captain's favorite authors who wrote, "This above all, to thine own self be true"? Sorry, Commander.
Look at Picard, he's so proud of his boy. We get to see how out of touch Riker is with the desires of the crew. And also we get to see the Reading Rainbow edition of LeVar Burton, which mine just looks like this. I didn't want to color in his eyes. Also, I can't find his visor. Look at him. Go read a book. Okay, so big 10 years older surfer bro Wesley is saying no to Riker. But look at Beverly's face, the face of a mother when he says no to this, and how, look at it. Here it goes.
I just want to get there on my own. Honest.
Look at her. Oh, did you see her lip quiver?
It's easier, boy.
She's so
Listen
happy.
to Riker.
Gates McFadden is a great actress, and they underuse her big time, especially in the movies. But occasionally she has moments like that that are just like, wow, she's awesome. So bad she leaves for season 2. Here we have smug Space Dad laying the smack down.
How did you know, sir? I feel like such an idiot.
Quite right. So you should.
Oh! All right, don't be tempted and be true to yourself, says Star Trek. Also, thank you for watching day 12 of 30 in the 30 days of Star Trek reviews. Star Trek on Blu-ray looks awesome. So that was a great Q episode. So thanks for watching and let me know what you thought. Okay, bye.